Hello, I have another knife review for you today. This one's going to be on the Spyderco Cricket, and that's a model C29 if you look on their website. By the way, I'd like to mention that Spyderco's website has the most in-depth information about each model that I've seen, as far as comparing it to other knife manufacturers' websites. When I give you the specs here, you'll see that they go far and beyond to let you know every bit about the knife, which is really nice. As you'll see, this one here has a little lanyard on here already. Obviously, this does not come with that. I got this knife in a trade a while ago. It's pretty well used, but the owner had thrown this lanyard. Actually, made it on the knife after it looped through. You see there, so it's not really removable unless you unbraid it or you break it off. So I decided to keep it on there. In a minute I'll show you how it's helpful. But anyway, I have the plain edge version of this knife. This knife also comes in a fully serrated edge, as well as the same model with an etched stainless steel handle. Etched meaning it just has kind of a scroll pattern etched into it. The etched models are about $10 more. But it's pretty cool because it looks nice, but it kind of takes away from the scratching. So stainless steel is is notorious for looking bad scratched up. I mean, some people don't mind, but it's hard to pick up in this video. But this is beat up, and it's a well-used knife, and it does show it. It definitely shows it on that plain brushed stainless steel. So the etched model won't show it as much if you're concerned about scratching. There's actually also another version of this where there's inlays on the top, or actually overlays, I should say. It's like another handle scale that looks like a yin-yang, which is really nice, actually. You can see that over a new gram, but that's twice the price because it's a customized job. But anyway, it's a neat little knife. Really, really like this. It's very small. I'll start off with give you some specs on it. Like I said, it's a Spyderco Cricket. MSRP, which is manufacturer's suggested retail price, is $84.95. But again, no one's expected to pay the full retail price on this knife. Street price, on average, I found it for $55 to $65. Okay, in that range. And again, an extra $10 if you wanted that etched version of it. This knife is a frame lock, as you see here. It's very simple. I mean, you have the blade, and you have two pieces of stainless steel that form the handles, and of course the cutout on the back handle here makes it a frame lock, because the actual frame pulls over to lock the blade open. Okay, very nice. Very, very useful small knife, and even though it's small, it's definitely a workhorse, and I'll show you that towards the end of the video. But anyway, back to the specs. And as I was saying earlier in the video, Spyderco does a great job in giving you really precise dimensions and just telling you everything you need to know. Overall length on this is 4 inches, or excuse me, 4 9/16 of an inch. The closed length is 2 3/4 inches. The blade length is 1 7/8 of an inch. But the actual cutting edge, and this again, where Spyderco differs from other sites, is some sites will give you, some brands, I should say, will give you the blade length, but Spyderco goes beyond that, and they give you not only the full-size blade length, but the exact length of the cutting edge, okay, what's sharpened, the sharpened portion of the blade. And in this case, it's 1 3/4 inches, okay, of usable edge. You have like a double recurve here, where it comes out, gives you a lot of belly, but then comes back up, and then out again, kind of like an S shape, or a reverse S. Really nice. Again, just wants to dig into whatever you're cutting. And I will have a little cutting demo at the end of this video. Something different than what I normally do. So that should be interesting. Moving on. This has a VG10 blade, okay? And that's where the price is. I mean, for a $55, $60 knife, I know some people are thinking, well, you know what, that's very small. Very small knife. And you see it in my hand here. If I close it for you. It's a small knife for $60. And again, you have a 1 3/4 inches of cutting edge. And you're probably thinking to yourself, well, I can get a whole lot of other knives for that money. Why would I pick this small one? Well, some places have blade length restrictions, so it might be a legality issue for you. You might just like a small knife for maybe because you're in an office environment and you don't want a scary looking knife. And by the way, I feel this is a very aggressive looking blade. However, the overall shape on this, I have not gotten any negative response in using this in public, and I have used this quite a bit since I got it. Most people think it's a cute little knife. They don't see it as threatening for some reason, which is pretty far from the truth because, you know, in the right hands and the right situation, this is a very deadly weapon. But for the most part, most people are going to use this as a tool, okay, and that's what I use it for. It's a tool, and a very effective one at that. As you see here, I'm kind of opening this manually instead of flicking it out. I found with the spider holes, what I usually do with the thumb studs, it doesn't go all the way. See, that didn't click all the way open. You just heard it there. For the most part, I can't get it to flick out. I mean, I can give it a little flick, wrist flick to get it all the way out, but sometimes it doesn't make it like that. So I actually found a different way. Any Spyderco knives that has the hole in here, instead of using the pad of my thumb right here, I'll actually use the nail. I'll put my finger like this, okay, and use the nail to grab it because the inside of this hole, opening hole here, will just dig into your nail. So I'll just hold it like this and give it a flick open. And that works. It's very effective, as you can see there. So, you know, and this brings up, let me move my camera up a little bit. Sorry about that. This brings me to my next point, too, is a lot of people ask me, you know, why don't I have any automatic knives? And I have to say, I really love them, but they're more parts than needed. I mean, this is a manual knife and a very small manual knife at that. And the time it takes you to push a button, see my thumb here? This is the method that I need to use to open an automatic knife. Push the button down, bam, it's out, right? Well, in this case, instead of pushing down on a button, why can't I just push up on my thumb and have that blade out just as fast? So not only is this legal, where automatic knives are not legal, okay, but it's just as fast, if not faster. So anyway, that's a little side note. I'm kind of getting away from the review here. But anyway, this is a very effective small little knife, but the VG10 blade is just an outstanding performing blade, and that's why the price is where it's at. Even though this is an all stainless steel knife, because of its size and because of the you know, the width stock they used for the handles here, and because they didn't use any spacers, they used this kind of pillar construction, using these little round spacers as opposed to a spacer bar. The weight on this knife, the total weight, is 1.75 ounces. That's right, 1.75 ounces. That is extremely light. And even though, again, you only have 1 3/4 inches of usable cutting edge, you know, that's all you need. For the most part, the average person, the average Joe, throughout the day, you only need that much blade to get all your cutting tasks done. And oftentimes, you know, even I'll find myself carrying larger knives than I really, really need. And another feature on this knife is it's just so thin. If you remove the pocket clip, which is removable, you can easily fit this into your wallet, okay, to carry as a backup knife in your wallet in one of your credit card slots. So it's just, I really, really like this knife. And again, like I said, it's a little pricey for its size, but it's definitely worth the money, in my opinion. Stainless steel, again, will show all those scratches, so if that's something you kind of cringe on, you might not want to get this, but in this case, stainless steel is not a weight issue because it's just so darn light. Most of the time, an all stainless steel knife will be very heavy and cumbersome, but not in this case. So, now to the cutting demos. Well, I was going to get paper, but you know, that kind of gets old. So, I'll save you the story of where I got this stuff from, but I got a little piece of seat belt, which is a more commonly, you know, a better substrate to use, you know, for a cutting demo because, hey, you might have to cut yourself out of a car wreck. So bear with me here. I have to kind of hold this between my 4 fingers like this to keep pressure. But let's do a little cut demo on the seatbelt. And see, it's kind of pulling out of my fingers. It's very hard to hold here. I don't have any strength. Well, let me just try to cut it straight down. Of course, when this is wrapped around your body, you're not going to struggle like this, but there you go. Kind of a sloppy cut. I wish I could have, I don't have a vise here, otherwise I put it in a vise and pull some pressure on it, because in most cases you're going to be locked into your car like that anyway. But it's something different, you know, why not? So anyway, that was my review of the Spyderco Cricket. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for watching.